We are live. What is going on, Omniverse? If you don't know, I got some cool friends. And today, if you haven't heard, there's this thing happening in Arlington in October, LCI Congress, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. And one super new thing that is on the board because Eileen and the LCI wizards over there were listening to you, and we're going to learn about that. We also have the super handsome Mr. Brian Melcher from Field Verify. We're going to learn about what his connection to this innovation spotlight is. And of course, we got the famous lady, Miss Jennifer Lacey. So we're going to do quick introductions. Then we're going to talk about what is this innovation spotlight? Where did it come from? And then Brian is going to help you understand why you need to be in his session. So Jen, can you kick us off for the maybe one person out there in the universe that doesn't know who you are, who you be and why you be here?
Yes. So I am Jennifer Lacey. I work with Robbins and Morton as their director of lean practices and building forward. But really I'm here because I am co-chairing this year's LCI Congress in Arlington, Texas with Keon Zandy. And what we're going to talk about today is one of the things that we have added to this year's Congress. So super excited about it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer Lacey. Mr. Brian, let the world know, if they don't already know, who you are and why you're so cool.
Why I'm so cool. I am Brian Melcher. I'm CEO over at Field Verified. That sounds like a big title. I feel like we've just gotten big enough where I can use that. But been here since the beginning. We're an enclosure consulting and testing firm. We have a big testing laboratory, people going out on roofs, on windows, all across the Western United States all the time. And we've also created the only building enclosure management training in the industry, heavily attended, and just a ton of work into how we train our people, how we train the industry. And that's why I'm here. Talk more about that.
And heck yeah, we're going to get into all that goodness. But first, Miss Eileen, what is the innovation spotlight and how hard or how easy was it to bring it to life?
I don't get to introduce myself?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eileen Goldberg. I'm the manager of strategic partnerships with LCI. I've been with LCI for about 12 years, and I handle the sponsors and exhibitors for the trade show for Congress, as well as webinar programs and non-dues revenue and all that other mess. But for the innovation spotlight that you were talking about, I have to say one of the deltas that we've had in the past for Congress is that there's no spotlight on technology. There's no and services. There's no spotlight on the new innovations that are coming out in the industry and how people can use those to further their lean journey. So you asked, we listened, and that's how the innovation spotlight was born. So yep.
So you've been in the sponsor side, kind of managing who's going to be there, what it's going to go, how it's going to go. And this innovation spotlight, you said there was a delta, so there was feedback about what's missing. Now, Congress is a big machine. And so what all went into adding this element, this innovation? What all went into adding that to this year's experience in Arlington?
Well, actually, this year it was almost like it was meant to be. It was almost like it was meant to be. We had the space, we had the time, the ideas were flowing, people wanting to showcase their services and their technology, and like Brian here. And I think it was just, we were ready as an organization and as a community to actually make this happen.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And so we have Brian here today. Is Brian the only person on this innovation spotlight thing? Like structurally, what does that thing look like?
So the innovation spotlight is going to be adjacent to the exhibit hall, but there are 5 slots that run alongside with the core program. So again, it's kind of like its own session. Right now, 4 of those 5 slots are taken. And we have Field Verified with Brian. We have Closeout Pro. I'm sorry to mention other companies in your session, Brian, but we have Hilti, Fieldwire by Hilti, and we have Lean Steel. It's a Genco company, and those are the four that we have it right now. But again, we have one more spot open to add someone else.
So one more spot that they can come and be a part of, first time ever, right? And so
Absolutely.
I'm wondering, Brian, was the prospect at being the first, was that a hook for you to say, you know what, let's do this innovation spotlight?
Well, we've loved LCI, just because of who's coming together there, and we presented previously. I think it was in New Orleans. We presented on our daily huddle with another trade partner. That was an amazing experience, and of course, our relationship, Jesse and Jen, has come out of that. Jen, you highlighted some of that, and so to be there, participating and shoulder to shoulder, and then adding value to those people, like there's nothing better than that. Huge audience, of course, was an appeal. Eileen, maybe you can validate, but I feel like I signed up in record time. Like it went out, and I was just like, us now.
You were the first, absolutely.
Yes.
And I was contacted by Jen and Kian going, hey, did you hear from Brian? Matter of fact, I did. So thank you very much.
On a Saturday, I'm pretty sure at right when I woke up, right when I saw it. But
and I saw the email and went, this guy's on top of things. Absolutely.
Well, and that should tell you the excitement, and just and it really comes into who's going to be there and what they're looking for. People show up looking to improve the work environment they're in, to improve it for the people they work with, and deliver a better product. There's no better people than builders. Builders look at things that go wrong that aren't their fault, and they ask, what could I have done to have made this better? And so that's who we want to be in front of. We're really excited for that.
Nice.
It's interesting that you say that. I know I've just interrupted Jesse from saying something. That's what Congress is all about. It's about getting those people together, giving them tools, techniques, services to improve their lean journey, and, fostering that, what you just mentioned. So, Jesse, I know that's probably exactly what you were going to say, but I felt the need to go in there.
You read my mind, sister. That's why we're always rolling together. Well, let me give a shout out to Mr. Brian Burke out there, who dropped some clappy hands in the chat. And folks, if you're out there in the Omniverse, drop a cowboy hat in the comments if you're coming to Congress, or even if you're Congress curious. We want to know, because it's going to be going down. It's going to be happening. Now, Jen, you're the co-chair, as you said during your introduction. How exciting is it to support and contribute to the rollout or the introduction of the Innovation Spotlight? Well,
I'm very excited. I think several of the things that Kian and I were trying to do this year is really tap into, like Eileen said, some deltas, maybe some from previous sessions. We're very intentional on the core program to not have people, selling products and things like that. And there wasn't really a place for them. So it's like the Innovation Spotlight, what Eileen has created, allowed there to be a spot for those things that are important. And we know that because we're using technologies across so many platforms, within our businesses. And so again, to me, I believe this: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I feel like things happen in our lives that way. But I think right now it's the perfect time of all of these things coming together and being able to highlight them. But also, I know Brian's got, he's going to talk through some of the things he's going to do in his spotlight. And I think it's not just they're going to go up there and talk about a product and sale. I think we're looking at this from a different perspective.
Oh, all right, Brian. What is that? Should I just go so I can get the swag that you're giving out, or
that's going to be worth it? So there's a little background. We also have a booth, which will be right in the same space, which we really love that, because one of the tough things after a session is you want access to those presenters. You guys have lines out the door waiting to talk to you and looking for you in between. So we'll be just right around the corner with a ton of swag. Jesse, you're rocking the hat. I've have some good news. We're bringing the hat presses. We've got custom hats made, custom patches. Eileen, we got to
Nice.
get some permission for some like LCI co-branded stuff, but be cranking those out. But that's the fun stuff over at the booth. What we're bringing for everyone is a training on training, and we presented at a lot of other sessions on quality, building enclosure with our background in testing and inspecting, and it is always a training, right? The best way to connect with people is to provide value. So yeah, it's promoting a product, but of course we're going to do that by actually providing a full scale training. And ironically, this one is training on training. And so we have, for the last 3 years, we've developed a program called the Building Enclosure Management Training. Jen, you were here a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Jesse, you've been around it. And then, even this is all relevant. We've had Jesse in our building training our people at Field Verified. So our goal is to bring, the last several years of the best trainings in construction, how they were built, because they were all built from scratch, out of need. And the need was there's no other training. There's no building enclosure training in the industry. We provide it. You might think that's enough to just provide it, but it's not, because we measure the work product by what people can actually do when they leave the building. So if you have training in your organization, want training in your organization, this is like, that's everyone, right? I'm listing them off, but I've now described everyone, everywhere at the and you want to create training or level up that training. That's what this will do for you. It's going to be a 3-part segment, and we've got some special guests. So we will first give a demonstration. That's where the laser pointers will come in. We'll teach a skill we call Evil 3. And that's, in fact, the laser pointer is pretty solid. If you can see the line.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Look at that. I want one.
Laser pointers in the pocket. You're using them to identify issues in the field. We're going to teach you how to find the most likely to leak condition on your building, any building, everywhere, coming from years of experience. But within that, we're showing you how to teach and practice a concept so that participant, when they leave, they have the skill. No lecture. All trainings start as lecture and content. We're going to show the tools to evolve that into meaningful training where they leave with a skill. Now, we're bringing in some partners in core construction. They're big time lean supporters as well. And this is kind of their backyard in Arlington there. And
Nice.
we have had a collaborative process over the last several years. We went and did our training in their building, which is this beautiful training space. And we came back and we stole ideas. We always joke, we call it stealing ideas, but it's collaborating. We've added things that made the space better, that enhanced the learning. So if you've got a space in your office, we're going to be talking about how that was done. But here's what Core did. They took things from our training and they developed really best in class. I apologize. I know there's other builders watching, but it is the best in class training I've seen for their superintendents. They're rolling it into project managers. So we're going to see from them and we're going to receive training from them on how to take that content and put it out to superintendents. And you know how tight they are with their time, right? So
Yes.
Just incredible skills that they will teach us. And then that will segue back to our field services at Field Verified, which is I'm not going to plug all of those, but consider that we're doing very intense ASTM testing on roofing, windows. Just out of frame, we got the big airboat engine, roof uplift kits. And, the struggle with testing is, does it get done correctly? Does it screw up your schedule? And we've solved all of those with how we train our team. And so we have everything from lean improvements on our equipment and the process in which we just make our tools better. I call that like the cute part, when things are color coded. That's what you do like down the road.
Right.
Yeah. First, your people really need to know how to do the job, right? They do it so well and so confidently that they have time in their head to be polite, to anticipate issues, and to say, what would make my job easier? And that's the phase we're at now. And we're going to show you how we evolved to that process, because there's just piles this way of failures along the way. and then tools that we learned that allowed us to take those lessons and create meaningful training to now we bring people on and they just level up in
Super
confidence
fast.
so fast.
Yeah.
And so think about what you could do with project engineers, field engineers, pre-con, even bringing someone into that superintendent role. So you're going to see all of that, like what makes training good? What are the tools and techniques to take your knowledge capital and make it effective training that lands and gets retained, not just from Field Verified. We're training builders all the time. That's what our enclosure management is. We have 1,000 trained, and but now you have core saying, okay, here's how we took those lessons and applied them to our own processes. And then we're going to show you on the technical. If you've got trades, if you've got people doing hands-on work, that's us at Field Verified. And we're going to show you how we took the same tools again and turned it into tradecraft. So we're really excited. We're stealing things from Jesse, from Jen. That's how we've done it. Just these people that pride themselves on training, all of us are sure we're the best, and we are, because we are so dedicated to it. But we're also the best because we are ready to share what we do and learn from others and try things. And we're ready to share what we're doing, show you. There'll be some testimonials and even an opportunity to practice some of that. Of course, we got that booth, so we're going to be there the whole time, ready to talk.
The whole time, autographs and everything. So I'm going to justify it because I'm pretty dense. But what I heard was the attendees, the people that are going to come to your innovation spotlight session, are going to be introduced to a methodology that will help them train better, that will help them plug into their own system with their own group of people, whatever roles that they are, and enhance the training such that they'll actually transfer knowledge and transfer skill.
You said it better. And I would even add to it, like, right as you're saying that, I'm thinking back to what I said. I'm like, this sounds like if you're in charge of training at your company. That's not it. First of all, there are a lot of people in charge. Superintendents, they get put in charge of the meetings.
Yes.
For sure. Project managers, senior level leadership, for sure. But if you're a superintendent that hires and has a field engineer or an assistant superintendent, you're going to learn the methods to teach them that will stick, instead of, you get it, right, Jesse? You get it. And everybody's like, yeah, no, I get it. I'm smart. Yeah. We're builders. You're builders. You're experts on so many things. To be an expert on how to teach people and have that skill land, of course, you need training on it. And we've been in the trenches for years on this, and have figured out, even in one-on-one interactions, the methods that will cause it to land. And you know what? When people can do their job well, they're just happy. They do it better.
Yes.
I feel a little dirty saying that, like you get more out of them, but they can do more and they're happy doing it because we like being good at our job.
Yeah, because you said it earlier. They have the brain space to be able to be nice, right? Like when we're stressed and under the gun and kind of guessing and hoping we don't get yelled at, we don't have space to give the discretionary effort or the extra bit of love that makes all the difference for the client. And so I think I was ask Eileen, but I'm going to ask you, Jen, because it looks like there's some choppiness here. So Jen, in terms of the idea,
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, good. Well, then this one's coming at you, Miss Eileen.
I'm here. Yeah.
What?
I apologize. My camera keeps going on and off, so I figured this would be better.
I like it. It's just so much hotness coming through the camera. We overheated it. I get it. So based on what Brian described, right? How close, in terms of like the vision before okay, we said innovation spotlight is going to be a thing. We're going to add this thing. How close to what the original vision was in terms of people that were going to be up on the stage and delivering something to the LCI Congress audience, how close is what Brian described to what that vision was? Is he pretty close? Is he way off? Does it exceed? What are your thoughts?
That's a very interesting question. And the reason I think is interesting, because you can't necessarily say what a vision is because everybody's different. So Brian's session is going to be very, very different from Closeout Pro's session, not only because they have a different service or product, but because they're different people. You know, their presentations are going to be different. Their ways of presenting are going to be different. So as far as what we were thinking beforehand, I can't say that we were thinking anything specific because it's so different per session and per person and company that's presenting. So I guess you could say our roundabout vision was that we would be able to bring the technology or service or whatever to the attendees, and then let them take that, or at least get some takeaways from those presentations, and go back to their companies and say, oh my gosh, look at this training, look at this service, look at this product. This was amazing stuff.
Got it. So what I'm taking is like, yeah, this fits, and like specifically for an audience member considering it, there's a high diversity in terms of what they're going to be exposed to via the innovation spotlight.
Absolutely. Not all the companies are the same. They don't offer the same thing, which is excellent, I think. And
Yes.
exactly. And I think that because it's a new, I'm going to call it an innovation for Congress, I think the expectation, and I'm kind of happy about it, there really isn't an expectation. And I think that people, you know, need to not necessarily have a thought before they go in. Well, they need to have a thought, but they don't necessarily need to have a preconceived notion of something before they go in. Where they might, if they see last planar system training or tack time something. But this is something that brand new. All the companies are different, but it is technologies and services. So that's what they're going to have in their mind. But again, Brian mentioned training. Someone else might have demos along with training. So there's no real specific, oh my gosh, this is what you should expect, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm going to mention the chat for a second. If you are interested now in hearing after this of attending the Innovation Spotlight, I'm going to mention the cowboy hat. Put the cowboy hat in the chat. I want to see it.
Let's see it. Throw it in the cowboy hat. Let me actually fix that. If you want to be, if you're going to do the innovation spotlight. Awesome. So now I'm gonna say this, Jen, and I might get canceled. Well, not just Jen and Eileen. Brian, you know how I roll. What I'm hearing in terms of what this innovation spotlight, like the problem it's solved or the pain point it's focused on, is for the folks that have been to Congress and are sick and tired of hearing the highlight reels about how somebody did the tool on the one projects. Like, I've been to Congress and I hear about all these things, and that's fine. Like, I get it. It's my third time, fourth time, fifth time. I want something meatier that isn't all wrapped up in lean lingo. Am I getting canceled for that? Is that kind of close to, how do you think that'll land with the Omniverse, Jen?
Well, one, I think you're spot on. You may have just used different language than maybe somebody else used, but that's okay. I think that what our goal was is, what can we do? What can we provide that, one, fills a need, but also is something that someone that's been to multiple Congresses and has done the learning and done the sessions and all that. All of these are going to provide another layer of knowledge and another layer of learning and another layer of, hey, there's some more things out there that maybe I didn't know about. And so I think in the same language, yes, absolutely, that's what it is. And I just want to tag on to what Eileen and Brian both said. The biggest things that I took away from what he said and what he didn't say. So what he didn't say was, and for $19.99, you can come and I can sell you what I have. You did not hear that, because that is not the goal of who's up on stage. Is to, yes, they want your business. Yes, they want to work with you because they want to work with everyone that's showing up to Congress. But they also want to let you know what they're doing. And what I did hear was that sharing part. He says, we're doing something nobody in the industry is doing. and we want to tell people about it, and we want to share it so that you can take it and go make it better. And that is the culture, that is the environment, that is the behavior of people that show up to Congress.
Oh my
Jen,
God.
I absolutely love that. And I'm going to take that a step further. You and Jesse mentioned that it was for people that have been to Congress a lot and are looking for another layer and things like that. I also want to say that it would be for the newer people as well, or the first time attendees, for the fact that they are the ones that would definitely be looking for this information.
Yeah.
Maybe sent to Congress by their C-suite or their team to find out this kind of thing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily, and again, it is that other layer for the people that have come and the people that have asked for this in the past, because those are the people that come for several years. And but I think that it might also appeal to those new attendees because this is what's going on in the industry. It's that technology and services. So I think that is something that they're going to want to see as well.
Yes. All right. So
can I add one more thing to Eileen's, just because it's so important of what she said is, yes, those newer people that are 1 to 3 years into their journey are usually our younger folks. But we also know by just looking at data that 60% of our attendees are usually first-time attendees.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge percentage of people that are going to be there for the first time. And they may not be 1 year into their construction journey, but they may be there for the first time because because of the things they're learning or the roles that they're in. This is an awesome opportunity for them to come in and learn about something new, but also be able to take it back and help implement it and deploy it into their company.
So Jen, can I just jump on right there? Like Eileen said it too. To plug just this particular session, if you're coming to LCI and you plan on taking things back, attend this session so you do it effectively. And if you've been coming for years and your struggle is, I try to take it back and it's not landing, then this is also the session for you. To teach effectively, to implement company-wide, like this is the way to do it. We're going to tell you, Core Construction is going to come and they're going to share some of what they're doing, which is incredible. And that's the whole spirit of it. And, it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a mandate. They're going to be able to walk us through how, they evolved to where now it is company-wide and you have people desperate to come in for their superintendent excellence training and project management, which is, it's running and being created at the same time. What they're doing is amazing. We're really excited to share that.
And I know we have 3 minutes left. And sorry, Jesse, but that is what people are coming to see. That is exactly what people want to see. They want to see that journey. They want to see what can be taken away. They want to see how others get that buy-in, because buy-in is one of the most important questions we always get when I do a webinar. How do you get buy-in to use the last planner system? Intro to Lean project delivery, how do you get buy-in to use Lean in the company? So I think the fact that you mentioned that specifically on how Core Construction got buy-in and now everybody wants to participate, I think that's excellent. And that's really what people will be looking for as well.
Yeah.
All right. So closing question for everybody. There's a ton of stuff that's going to be happening. There's going to be breakouts. There's going to be innovation spotlight, just a million things. And so, Eileen, I want to start with you. What strategy do you recommend so that people can get like the most out of this, all the wonderfulness that's going to be there?
That's a very good question. And one thing that I would definitely do is if you're sending a team, two things. If you're sending a team, well, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. Always start out with the interactive agenda. That's on the Congress website, congress.leanconstruction.org, or go to leanconstruction.org, cover over events, and you'll see 2025 LCI Congress. And go to the program tab in the interactive agenda. There you can see what's being offered, what classes, what tracks, what subjects, whether they're intermediate, whether they're expert, whether they're beginners, and take a peek at that. And also, if you're going with a group, look at the agenda as a group and see if some of you are interested in the same class or another class at the same time. Split it up. You might be interested in for you to go there, I'll go to this, and then bring those takeaways back and maybe have a meeting at Congress during lunch, or maybe have a meeting during one of the breakout sessions, the network sessions in the exhibit hall. Maybe talk to an exhibitor that you heard mentioned in a session. So I think that starting with the interactive agenda is going to be a great way to start, get to know what's coming, the tracks and all of that, and go from there.
Beautiful. Mr. Brian, what would you add to that, my friend?
I was just like all in listening to that. I think that's a great idea. Definitely, you have to set the time aside. And I've seen a lot of people set time aside right after, the day you're back from conference, while it's fresh, create some goals, things with check boxes next to them that you can check off later.
Oh, I love it. All right, Miss Famous Lady, what you got for that?
I guess two things based on my experience with Congress and also where I feel that there's value this year specifically. So the first one is, and I wanted to piggyback on what Eileen said, if you're sending a group of people, it's so easy to default to, I'm going to go cheer on my team. I'm going to go and I'm going to get in the session that my company's presenting on, because that way they know I support them. And I am not against that, because we have a lot of people coming to Congress. And so I think having time ahead of time to look at the interactive agenda, or just look at, hey, we know you're there to support this team because you contributed. But all of you do not have to be in that room. Look at things that fall into the category that you work in, or the skill, because the value of Congress is what people are sharing. And like Brian said, CORE's going to come and they're going to present on some stuff. We will have Robbins and Morton people in that room because we're going to listen to what he's saying. We're going to listen to what CORE's saying. And now we have some things we can take back and implement in our company. So there's value in hearing what your competitors are saying, or what other people are doing in the company that at Congress, so that you can then take it back and make it better. And that's the theme and what we see so much at Congress. And so number one, you just please divide and conquer. Like, don't feel you need to all huddle around in one group throughout Congress. The second one is a little easier lift. If you're one person from a firm or 25 people from a firm, between the sessions, when you're going to breakout sessions, between the sessions, walk the halls and make eye contact and look at names and look at companies, whether it's in your geographic area or whatever, it doesn't matter. You will find so much value in connecting with people in between the sessions that then could drive you to another one that you didn't even realize you were going to go to.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I'm piggybacking off of Jen. The app. You're going to want to make sure that you take a peek at the app. You will find the agenda there. You will find ways to connect with other people. You will find lots of great resources. So make sure that you have the app. One other thing I'm going to mention is for new attendees, before Congress, we will be having a webinar that you might want to take a peek at. I apologize, I don't have the dates right now, but I will put them up after the webinar, this live stream is over, so everyone can see that. And that will tell you how to get the best out of Congress, some kind of tips and things like that. So be on the lookout for that as well.
And check out your local chapters. You want to get some extra sessions in the local
communities
chapter,
of practice. Absolutely.
Yeah, so knock out all of those presentations from your local folks, your friends probably. Then you don't have to go to their sessions in person.
At Congress.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that so we can move forward.
Well, it tags on with Jen's, don't go to your friends, but here you still get to support them. You see it, and then you go get some other content. Yeah.
10-4. All right, folks, mark your calendars. October 20th through the 24th. Get into the Innovation Spotlight. There's going to be a bunch of other people, but Mr. Brian and Field Verified are going to be up there. They're going to be bringing people, sharing like real stuff that you can go put into practice. So appreciate y'all very much. Spread the word, sign up, bring a team, because Jennifer's going to be signing autographs, and I'm going to have a kissing booth. So why wouldn't you
take autograph right here?
It's called an all-star booth, Jesse, not a kissing booth. It's an all-star.
This is getting away from everybody on the call. I think it's time.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
It's time to go. Where's the cane so we can